set, go. Three guys, one mic, a lot of heavy. Oh yeah.
Hello everybody, I'm Jeff Crenshaw.
And I am Ben Eastman.
And you're listening to Heavy Set Go. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, that was impromptu.
It was. Once again, yet again, Alan Burrell is not here.
Again.
Yet again, he's not here.
Yet again.
I'm sure he's with us in spirit. The dude's busy. He's working till 10 p.m. every day, and when he's not working, he's pursuing his dreams as an actor. So God bless him.
God bless him.
God bless our beautiful Alan Burrell.
And he doesn't really like to do podcasts much, but
I think he, I don't know. Anyway, so we figured we would feed you a little bit of an interim snack until we can get him back.
I love snacks so much.
Me too.
Body by Ben. Body by snack.
You know those the cocktail sausages that come in that you put in barbecue sauce?
Oh fuck yeah, Little Smokies.
Little Smokies.
Oh.
At Tally's birthday party, filled up a plate of those damn things.
Oh fuck yeah.
I thought I had died and went to heaven, man.
You died and went to Little Smoky heaven.
Yeah, Little Smoky heaven.
I just little Smokies.
They
just the name alone.
Like a perfect New Year's for me is like, I guess champagne, but Little Smokies and mini quiches.
Oh, see, I don't mind that, but like for me, like gotta have that meatball, dude.
Oh yeah,
Got those grape jelly and chili sauce meatball. Oh.
I was with you until the sound effect.
Oh really?
Yeah, kind of lost me.
That's like I'm so hungry and that's tasty sound effect. And the worst part is now we're doing a podcast and we don't have any food in front of us. There should be a buffet of all the.
Where's craft services?
Where is he?
Oh, that's right. Alan isn't here.
Yeah, Alan's our craft bitch.
Hey, Crafty.
Hey, Crafty.
Crafty, come here.
Crafty,
bring me some munchies.
feed me a plate, Crafty.
Crafty, there's a hair in my plate. Oh wait, I guess
Crafty,
you're not guilty.
You don't have an oven? You can't cook for me?
Crafty. Inside joke there.
Yeah.
That's one we can't explain.
No.
But
can't explain it.
But Ben has commandeered my sister's ukulele because she's not here to stop him.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
I'm going to turn it into a blues machine.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what if you did that and I did like the White Christmas background singing? Let's try it.
Wait, White Christmas? Okay. Okay.
You do what you were doing. Does it work?
Christmas. You sound just like that guy.
I do.
Every time I see that song or I listen to that song come on, and he, hey, I always feel that like he is literally got his balls clamped down so hard.
In a vice.
In a vice.
They're
like it's like his balls have been put inside an accordion, and there's fucking Weird Al Yankovic is like just blowing away on that accordion.
The Secret Life of Yankovic.
Yeah.
So Benjamin.
Excuse me.
Got a little song we can sing?
I think so. Unfortunately, I don't know it on the uke, so we might have to do it a cappella.
A cappella, huh?
A cappella.
What song do you have in mind?
I think let's do a Williams.
Hank Williams?
No. Ted Williams.
My head's in a bucket in a cryogenics lab. I body
played for
is
the Red
thrown
Sox.
away.
Okay, all right.
Corpse is on a slab, oh, my bucket's in the head freezer. Oh, my bucket's in my head freezer.
Yeah, my bucket's in a head freezer. Okay, let's do the real song.
Okay.
All right.
Well, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. I can't buy no beer. Well, I'm standing on the corner with a bucket in my hand. I'm waiting for my woman that ain't got no man, 'cause my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. I can't buy no beer. Well, it ain't no use. I'm working so hard. 'Cause I got a woman in the boss man's yard. 'Cause my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. I can't buy no beer. Well, me and my baby, we just bought a Ford. And now we sit together on a running board. Yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. Yeah, my bucket's got a hole in it. I can't buy no beer. Apparently, they used to take the buckets to the beer place and fill them up. I guess that was the pre-growler.
Wow.
Thing. But they used to carry beer around in buckets. I'm not sure how sanitary that is. You can get bugs.
Not only
and shit.
that, but man, the worst thing to me is a flat beer. And that sounds like if you're carrying around a bucket of beer.
Maybe the buckets had lids or something. Who knows?
Maybe. Even then, just constant moving around with the bucket. Either way, great song.
Great song.
Be the one and the only Hank Williams.
The legend, who's not Tom Hiddleston.
Man, I still kind of don't want to see that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
Honestly, I do too. I think everything else I've watched a lot of clips. They got like the period down pretty well. I think they have Audrey Williams, his wife, singing is perfect. Who knew the Olsen twins' little sister had so much talent in imitating a bad singer from in the 50s? But she sounds exactly like the real Audrey.
Wow. Elizabeth Olsen, is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah, she's nice.
If Hiddleston brought the same A game to his performance that Olsen brought to hers, like try to bring the same authenticity, I think I Saw the Light may have been a contender. Although there's apparently, according to Rotten Tomatoes, which if it turns out I like this movie, I'm going to petition them that they shut the website down because I cannot stand anyone who disagrees with my opinion. But Rotten Tomatoes says the film is poorly paced.
Yeah.
And it's very hollow.
Well, I heard that. Excuse me. I heard that it's not very well written either.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Hank deserves a really good film, and he's had there's 3 movies. There's an abysmal one from the 60s called Your Cheating Heart.
That's George
Hamilton,
yeah.
Mr.
What
Suntan himself.
Yeah.
Apparently, Hank Jr. did the vocals, and you could tell like a teenager is singing Hank's part. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry. It's like, oh God, this isn't working. And Hamilton looks like a doofus. He doesn't look like Hank at all. Hiddleston at least carries himself like Hank Williams. The voice, he misses the mark. They should have had someone else sing for him.
Yeah. Well, I think it proves it for me. There's just some artists that are so great and so unique that I don't think any movie could do them justice.
I think they could have done them justice. The aesthetic does that era justice, I think, in the new film, but from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But I think they just need to find the right people. Take you could tell that the scene's dubbed kind of, but I think remember the movie Ed Wood, which is more of like an artistic retelling rather than like a historic.
Yeah.
As most things are, but that is particularly like meant to kind of evoke Ed Wood's movies while telling the story. There's a scene where Ed Wood meets Orson Welles in a bar. It's like, oh my God, you're Orson Welles, and the Vincent D'Onofrio plays Orson Welles. But shut the fuck up. But no, your
this
goddamn.
is just Jeff and I.
Yeah.
Not you, little kitty.
Shut up. You're being rude to us.
And we know. We miss Alan too.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry we couldn't get Alan Burrell here, but he really just doesn't like you.
Yeah, he doesn't like you, and that's why he's not here. I know you miss it, but...
Yeah. Anyway, there's the scene. D'Onofrio doesn't sound anything like him, but he got another actor to do the voice of Orson Welles.
Yeah.
And I could almost swear like D'Onofrio looks like him, but they got the voice actor to come, hi, I'm Orson Welles. Well, that doesn't sell it because I don't sound like him, but you could almost swear that you're looking at the real Orson Welles. And contrasting that, Vincent D'Onofrio played Orson Welles again in like a little independent short film a few years later. It wasn't that great, but
you know what I've heard?
And he didn't dub the voice, and you could tell night and day.
Oh,
he needed that voice is the key to Welles, and just like Wells's voice is like the key to him. Hank Williams' voice is the key, that very particular voice, and I don't think Hiddleston got it.
You know, I've heard it's really good.
What?
And I don't remember it being like praised when it came out. I don't remember it being praised when it came out, but I read some reviews recently that was praising it, and praising the guy that played Orson Welles was Me and Orson Welles, the movie with Zac Efron, directed by Richard Linklater.
Oh,
I've heard,
Linklater did that.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, I've heard that it's really good.
Wow.
But I haven't seen it, and
it's easy to dismiss something with Efron.
Zac Efron.
I've never seen something I liked him in.
But yeah, so I'll have to check that one out. But what was I saying? So let me come back to okay, Kat. We know you miss Alan Burrell. By the way, that's not Jeff hitting the cat. He's just throwing something near the cat to scare it. But the cat seems unfazed. We do not condone animal abuse on this podcast.
Well, it depends on the animal.
Speaking of throwing something, I bruised my hand 2 days ago really bad.
Yeah. Trying
to scare this howling dog from my next door neighbor that was like non-stop howling at 5 a.m. in the morning, which was like literally the worst thing ever.
That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Because I'm dealing with this like pain of this sunburn that I had, and sleeping is hard to do in the first place, let alone when you finally found to sleep and there's a dog that's just it's like 5 a.m. to fucking 7 a.m. I'm like, 2 hours of this fucker. How do the people that even live at that place not like want to blow their brains out when they hear that dog? I'm just like, god damn.
Probably soundproof their bedrooms.
So I went out at like 5 a.m. in the morning because no one else is doing anything about it. I go, I'm like, shut up, and the dog like gets up like on the table and like pretty much is like to the point where it could like it was standing. I'm seeing the dog in full view, like right next to my fence. He could like jump over and attack me if he wanted. And he just keeps on howling and looking at me, and I'm like, fuck. So I try to make noise, and I slap my hand, and I bruised my whole entire hand because I slapped so hard. How lame is that? I'm such a hard.
Oh!
I'm such a hard.
Oh! Oh!
I did one clap. It was one.
No.
Yes.
No.
It was one clap.
That's even more ridiculous.
I know.
Okay, let me try. Oh!
Is that supposed to be me crying or a recreation of the dog howling?
That was you.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you really think I didn't even notice I had a bruise until I went to work later that day. So fuck you. It did not hurt.
Let me try again. 3 hours later. Hi, Keith Waldo.
Okay. So if you're wondering why these podcasts aren't as frequent, it's because I have to hang out with douchebags like that.
Hey, he's your boss. Don't say.
No,
Be careful.
I'm talking about you, Jeff.
Oh.
I'm not talking about my boss who just gave me a raise. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you.
What did I ever do to you?
Fuck you.
We just had a little nostalgia fest. Watched Ben's first movie, The Lampshade Man, and the promotional videos around it.
That was a pretty fun movie. I remember kind of having like a real shitty vibe. Like I always thought of it that way. Like years later, I'm like, oh yeah, that was crappy. It was my first film. But watching it again, I kind of forgot how hilarious some of the stuff in it was.
It's fun.
It paced pretty well, and for a first film, I mean, it all makes sense. Like, there's not any like confusing edit points or anything like that. But it's pretty fun, pretty ridiculous. Guy with a lampshade on its head. I love like the running joke is so he's like a killer with a lampshade on his head, mythical or not. You can be the judge if you see the film. But like, I love the idea of that he blends in because he's got a lamp on his head. So like people will just walk into a room and they won't realize there's a person standing there because it's a guy with a lampshade on his head, so it looks like a lamp. That idea fucking cracks me up. The whole idea for that was like a random conversation we had at like a lunch table. Hendrik Falcon and I were talking about it. How funny would it be if a guy just... And then we ended up using that character in a class assignment that Kyle Stanton and I were doing for people in politics, which was an idiot's guide to voting, which ended up getting a D+, which is even more hilarious because it's like the most like, what is a vote? A vote is something you do to. It's like we took like the most basic definitions of voting and I gave them like little skits, really stupid, but we in that video that we had made for that people in politics class. In every frame, we had a guy with a lampshade on his head. And when we were talking about that, I was like, man, that'd be funny. That'd be a funny horror film. Or, people are scared of this killer that blends in. And lo and behold, senior project. I remember getting an A on it. No, an A- on it. And the reason I got an A- and not a B was because Jeff and I's MySpace outreach for it with the contests and the videos and
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. That just shows you how long ago it was wonderful. The audio wasn't very good in the film. Fine enough, but it wasn't fantastic. And that was why I had gotten knocked a little bit. But for a first film, it taught me a lot of things. It taught me, personally, it taught me how hard it was to wrangle a person cast. Especially in high school. We were all high schoolers. All high schoolers had different agendas. They have friends. Most of the people that were in the film were friends, but getting everyone in the same place at the same time, that's rough. It's rough. Especially when they're people that are not particularly devoted to their craft. I mean, these were kids like, oh, make a movie, sure, and Jeff knows all about how hard it can be with huge casts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's rough, but it was fun looking back on it. Definitely.
It's I remember the campaign, the shady deal. Because it was a Lampshade Man. We gave it was basically whoever did the most promotion of the film
MySpace bulletins.
Through MySpace bulletins.
Bulletins. So great.
Whoever did that the most we'd kept track of it with, I think, an Excel spreadsheet, if I remember right. It's been several years, but they would win the Lampshade with a DVD copy of the film, popcorn. I think Orville Redenbacher's popcorn.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of like
Junior
movie
Mints,
candy and like a poster and a movie all in like an actual lampshade, which was kind of fun, wrapped up. And I remember Noah Zumwalt won it.
Oh yeah, I made a poster. Congratulations, Noah Zumwalt, and it's his face with fireworks behind it.
Oh, that's awesome! I forgot about that.
Oh man, it was a good it was a good time. We really hit out of the park with the marketing, and it was easier to market that way because we were directing it at a kind of a centralized location in the high school.
Yeah,
and you put posters up through the high school, and you target people inside the high school. When you get out of that contained area and like try and promote it to the greater world, or even the Portland area, we're no longer the token filmmakers. There's a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's
filmmakers, and it's hard to compete with them. That's one thing
I kind of miss a little bit, is that in high school it was kind of like a bubble. You know, I mean, there was the outside world, but in that bubble, you know, when you're in high school, everything you do is you eat and breathe it. Like, you know, you've got your group of friends, and you know, you're going to the sporting events, and
absolutely,
you know, you've got your school events, and it was a big like support system, and you know, everything was contained in it. You know, I mean, you had to go to these fame nights, and you wanted to support your friends, and when we had that big night, you know, everyone came out, and we advertised the heck out of it. And that was the fun thing, too, is I think I remember advertising it on Jag TV, our little news station, and it was like the perfect way to, you know, you walk around, you see the posters in the halls, you know, you see, what's this fame night, you know. And I remember, I mean, for the most part, I think the advertising that we did was pretty guerrilla. I mean, and it was kind of ambiguous. I remember a few of the posters, you know, which one would choose you, or which one will you choose? We like did like a little switcheroo, and we had all these, like, you know, there was a whole bunch of lamps, and then there was one that had like a person, and you know, just kind of, well, you know, what's that about? I remember
it was interesting for me to be part of that, because I was graduated, so it was like vicariously doing a campaign into a high school from the outside, but just helping him out promote the film, and it was aimed at the high school. But previous year, like, fame people from previous years showed up too, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that was cool. I also did, for my own film, printed a lot of posters and put them around the school. But I only had one version that I printed.
And it was magnificent.
It was The Truth of the Heart.
Who came up with that title again?
That was you.
Wow.
I think you thought of it because there was a play going on.
Yeah.
Called Crimes of the Heart. Like, you know, well, what about Truth of the Heart? Like, oh, did you get that from the play? No.
God, there was I feel like that year, Century Stage did two films that were of the heart, or two plays that were. There was like Crimes of the Heart, and then there was like.
Oh, there's like, I think, Piece of My Heart.
Yeah, Piece of My Heart.
I forgot about that one.
Isn't that funny?
Everyone, like, I think Stephanie Joyner played a girl, and everyone else played like troops in Vietnam.
Yes,
and she was like a singer.
That was really good. Actually.
It was.
Yeah, that was.
I never saw that one.
They did it like at a theater in the round. So what they did is rather than doing it, because Century's got a great stage,
Yeah, great auditorium.
Yeah, beautiful. It's just really big and awesome.
Yeah.
Rather than doing it, like you're out in the auditorium and it on stage, the whole entire thing was on stage, including the seats.
Oh wow.
So it was like they call it a black box theater in the round. What they do is you make this black box, and people walk into it, and it's a really close and intimate set. So the play that's being performed is right in front of you, like all of a foot or two in front of you, and you're sitting there. It's kind of an interesting. God, is it the ice cream truck?
It is the ice cream truck.
Damn it! I wish I had a few dollars. Anyways, but it's an interesting way of a really intimate experience. That reminds me, one of my favorite classes that I ever took in college was a theater appreciation class that I took in PCC.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cool because at that time, that was kind of a few months after I had really kind of got my license and I was kind of starting to drive.
Yeah.
And that, at the time, going into Portland was an event, Nowadays, I go to Portland probably at least once a week, if not sometimes twice, like doing something.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to it now, yeah. At that time, it was like, oh, I'm going to Portland,
Portland!
And that class, each week, there would be a new play to see at a different auditorium, a different troupe, at a different place in Portland. So it wasn't all at the same place. You were seeing all these great, respectable troops putting on, these shows that they were putting on. And there'd be all these different locations. And, cool, whether it's downtown, southeast, northwest, northeast, just crazy. And I remember the first play. I remember loving almost every single play that we saw. But there was the first play that we saw. It was at, I think it was, Defunct or something. And I think that was the troupe. And it was in the back of this coffee house that had a great 99-cent cappuccino. But it was the black box idea. And man, it was a shitty play.
Really?
It was really avant-garde, and just off the wall. But it was it felt like it was too. I'm all for films that are very, and or performances that are different, but if you can really feel something, and I couldn't feel anything.
They were just trying to be different for the sake of being different.
It felt a little too, and it was really weird. I can't really explain it that much. It's been so many years since that, but it was that same kind of experience where the seats are. And everything was white. I remember that the seats were white.
Really?
And the whole room was white, and the lights would turn off, and then there would be an actor next to you with holding a colored light of some kind, green or whatnot, and then all the lights would come on, and they wouldn't be there. It was this weird. It was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reminds me when you're talking about the stage at Century, being in tech theater half of my freshman year.
Oh yeah.
The first half, you ended up loving that class. I wasn't as much of a fan. I liked Bill, but I don't think I was cut out for the tech theater side of things. I remember, in an effort to get out of class hours, there was a bowling night for the drama club or something, and I remember I got to be a pen setter, which was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life, because people with, I think, maybe today, part of me wonders if they were throwing the ball intentionally while I was down in the... But I'd be down trying to set the pins up, or reset the pins, and I'd hear and I'd have to jump back, and there was a wall I could sit on at the back. It's where the bowling ball would hit. The wall went up, and I'd jump up and sit on the wall just in time before the bowling ball hit the back wall there.
And it's kind of closed off, so it would.
I remember the kids would throw the balls, and that nearly hit me. And then Bill will come over to where I was. Jeff, what the hell are you doing? Like, oh, it's my job. Jeff, you did it wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty much every day with Bill Johnson.
You got any stories?
Oh, dude, I can't tell you how many times I got into yelling matches with him.
I never engaged him.
I mean, he could be the sweetest guy on earth, but man, he could be a dick and a half too. I remember just like, you know, I mean, that's the thing, like doing tech theater. I mean, there's some stuff in there. I mean, I didn't grow up being a carpenter. My dad didn't really do much like work like that. Like, of course, he had tools, you know, and you'd see certain, you know, but I didn't have really any knowledge of a saw or like, you know, screwdrivers and stuff. And that I felt like you're kind of thrown into, well, there's certain kids in the classes that do know what they're doing, so figure it out. And so, I mean, mistakes would be made. Certain things wouldn't be done right. I mean, they had plans and you had jobs to do for stuff, and so we'd get in like little matches or, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you know, and then yell, storm off, whatever. Okay. Very informal, but I liked I mean, that at that time, one of my good friends, Christian Cade, I took that class because it was with him, and you know, pretty much for the most part, when you weren't building sets and they weren't, you know, play season, you were doing nothing, you know, for the most part, so it was kind of chill.
Yeah.
But, and of course, the first time, or the first few terms I took it because there were, like, two girls that, like, Christian and I had, like, the biggest crushes on. Melody Andrada and Jenna Ross. They were seniors at the time that we were sophomores in that, or I want to say sophomores or juniors, I kind of forget now. Maybe we were juniors at the time.
I think Jenna Ross was older than I was. So
yeah.
I think you may have been a sophomore and she's a senior.
Yeah, and you know, they were like just two of the most gorgeous girls you could ever see. And, you know, we loved being able to, you know, hang out with them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you can just hang out and talk to cool girls, like, who, you know, who may not have thought they were cool because you were talking to them. But that was awesome. But other than that, I loved being able to build the sets. I thought that was a cool thing to say. You know, I worked on that. You know, having worked on Beauty and the Beast, although I never saw them do Beauty and the Beast. I just didn't get around to it. But, you know, having worked on Grease and, you know, Crimes of the Heart, and what's that other one? My favorite play they ever did, Moon Over Buffalo.
That was a good one.
Which was hilarious.
I remember I was building I did not care for that, honestly. The building sets is like, Jesus Christ, when do I get out of this?
Exactly.
But I remember one time we were building a set for a play. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
Oh, uh-huh.
And there was this part of the set that was like a tower facade platform, and it was going to be supported because it's a tower with like a window, and the actor comes out and looks out the window. Think like Rapunzel, but it's not Rapunzel.
Yeah.
But kind of that aesthetic for the tower. There would be we were building it, and we'd be building it. We were building it, and the thing started to sway because it didn't have support. And Bill's like, I forget what he wanted. He wanted some kind of wood. He's like, let's just say a 2x4. Jeff, go get a 2x4. And I run back into, you know, that side room where all the wood and the supplies were. It's like, and I'm looking, I can't find one anywhere. And like the thing, I see this thing in the distance, and it's tilting to the left, it's tilting to the right, and like Bill the entire time, Jeff. And I'm terrified.
Like, what's a 2x4?
No, I knew what it was. I knew what he wanted, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut up! I knew what I wanted, but 1 second. I'm gonna put the cat away.
We're gonna pause this. No. We got interrupting.
We don't have to pause it.
Interrupting cat syndrome.
Stop
all right, cat.
Stop
now into the wood chipper.
Anyway, I got I couldn't find the appropriate board, and I thought the thing was going to fall over, and clearly Bill did too, because he was screaming the entire time, "Jeff, get me that damn board!" and we eventually someone else got the board and they stabilized it. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to stick around for the second semester.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's like I ended up going into creative writing with Miss Lawrence. So do you have any other stories?
Let me think here. There was a story that I had where we were building the set for Grease, which Grease, more than just an actual set. I mean, you know, for Moon Over Buffalo, Crimes of the Heart, Beauty and the Beast, there was an actual like set, you know, that people came on, right?
Yeah.
For Grease had a whole bunch of moving pieces.
Yeah.
Grease had a whole bunch of different things that were brought in. You know, there was the car that was brought in. There was the bedroom that was brought in. There was the locker rooms that were brought in. There was the, you know, so they were all kind of like moving in and out because there was a lot of different sets to that show. But one of the best ones that I remember, man, they did it so well, was the Beauty School Dropout set piece.
I remember that.
Which
that was Michael Fairman, that wasn't it?
that was Dennis Ish, actually.
Dennis Ish.
But so it was like this huge step, you know, stairway to the heaven, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that was actually one thing that I worked, you know, tirelessly on. You know, many school weekends I'd, you know, be there working on that for hours. And it was designed because, I mean, wood costs a lot of money. I'm sure they have a certain budget for these plays that they're allowed. But I remember, in order to conserve wood, each step was measured to fit Dennis's feet. Dennis is a very small guy. I am not a very small guy.
Yeah.
His feet were probably size, I don't know, 6, 7 at the time or something, you know. My feet are size 12. They're big feet. And I remember, you know, painting it, which we painted from the top down. You know, you'd go up, paint the top, you'd come down a few steps, but, you know, you paint that way because you wouldn't want to paint yourself into a corner up on top. So we were painting up top, and I had to, like, I guess I didn't realize, I kind of had to walk sideways on it because my feet couldn't fit on the planks. And I remember, like, the first time I had to go to the bathroom, or maybe I needed more paint or something. I got up and I kind of just forgot that I had to walk sideways. And I took, like, my first step, and the step, like, so my heel went kind of on one step, and my front part of the foot just, like, put one on the next step, and I, like, slipped and fell and just rolled, boom, 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 like, down the staircase.
And no one had smartphones then.
And no one had smartphones then, luckily.
Sadly.
And luckily I was the only one kind of in the area. Everyone else was off doing another project. There was kind of a younger, like, freshman or something that was doing something else near me, and he saw it, but, you know, he was a freshman, and when you're an upperclassman, you kind of, you can kind of be like, don't you dare say anything. But yeah, that was a painful. But luckily, I didn't break anything.
What's the line between freshman or upperclassman and lowerclassman? Is it between sophomore and junior?
So sophomore and freshman are underclassmen, and junior and senior are upperclassmen.
Oh.
They split it in two.
Gotcha.
Underclass, upperclass.
Never knew it was like an official thing.
Oh, definitely.
We're ultimate upperclassmen.
Remember middle class, or in middle school? Sevies.
I remember being a
Sevi. I remember someone telling me 8th graders were 8 balls, but I always thought that sounded stupid and, like, made up.
Sevies sounds stupid and made up.
Sevies sounds better, though.
It does.
Yeah, bro, that Sevi life, yo. Oh God, that's really lame. That Sevi life, yo. Oh God, that's really lame.
Yeah, Brett. I remember the occasional 8th grader, hey, you're just a Sevi. And I'm thinking, you were one last year. Why are you? What difference does it make? You're just a Sevi, man. What are you doing? Are you checking a text in the middle of the podcast?
No, I just got a text, and actually, I think like the precedence of it is really important. So, without naming any names, a friend recently had someone very close to him pass away, and it's kind of been something that it was someone that we all kind of knew, and I have a group text with all my buddies who are close, and one of my buddies said, "Hey guys, I just want to tell you I love you all like brothers." With that happening, and apparently he just went on a date with a girl and she just got a call that her mom had died.
Wow.
And like, I'm gonna assume it's 100% real, because if it wasn't, that'd be the worst thing ever. But that's really. I mean, can you even imagine? It's like, don't want to bring the mood down, but it's like it's so true. It's like, man, things just, when something like that happens, you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Life can be so precious sometimes.
Absolutely. You never know. You never know who's going to get that number pulled up.
Yeah.
This is